to the world of Root and Branch, our magazine programme which we hope will become a regular feature over the coming months.
Now, you may know quite a lot about Root and Branch already and what we do, and that's great, but we think we've got some surprises in store for you as we explore new ways of being creative together. But more important than that, we want to use this series to demonstrate and explain why we do what we do, because the why is more important than the what.
And we also want to show how your contribution can make a real difference in your life and in the lives of other people.
Once again, welcome to Root and Branch World, and this our very first edition. Our aim is to make these programs a regular video newsletter so that you can keep tabs on how together we are translating an idea into a dynamic movement of change here in our own community and across the world.
We really do hope that you will be part of this journey with us. Whether you buy a plant or art or craft work, join us as a creative partner or volunteer, or travel with us to help children in crisis on the other side of the world. Together, we are combining our little bits of beauty to make an impact in God's world.
So what is coming up in this edition of Root and Branch World?
Well, we have the first in a new series called Around the World in 80 Plants, introducing the magnificent Agapanthus, or African lily.
Yeah, and then we're going to pop over to Africa to meet a wonderful lady who we've been working with ministering to vulnerable children for the last 15 years.
And then we'll wrap things up with a focus on the Japanese art form of kitsugi and what it teaches us about life.
But first of all, Annette is going to bring us an update on the Chesham Agapanthus and Fuchsia Festival held last month.
Now look at this gorgeous Agapanthus. It is grown here on our side from seed. It is a drought-resistant plant and it's very water-wise, a perfect addition to make your garden really future-proof. With all those changing weather conditions and everything that is happening with climate change, this is definitely a plant to watch out for. It is very happy in a pot, but many varieties you can also grow in the ground. When we grow Agapanthus from seed, we actually bond with them, like with this one. I remember exactly where I picked the seed, and this plant has been with us for quite a few years now. So they are a little bit like children. So we look after them. We recognize them by the way they look. But we are very happy to let go of them and give them away to people, to customers that fall in love with them and want to buy them from us, either from our website or from one of our numerous plant sales that we've been doing for many years now. So thank you to all of you who supported us during our recent Agapanthus and Fuchsia Festival, a wonderful celebration of beautiful plants and the community. It was just so lovely to see all of you and have you spending some time with us together. Was it not just fantastic to be together in real life after all those months of restrictions? We thoroughly enjoyed to having you here. So thank you so much for coming. And honestly, you can't really celebrate plants via Zoom, can you? We managed to raise, during the last plant event, our beautiful Agapanthus and Fuchsia Festival, we managed to raise over £1,000 thanks to you, with 100% of the profits going to charity. This time we were able to give £150 to St Mary's Church in Chesham and to support families in the South African township of Munseyville, a township that has been badly hit by floods recently, but also by severe riots and unrest in South Africa over the past few weeks. You have seen how we do plant sales. It is not your ordinary charity plant sale. We are aiming to do everything we do with great excellence and love. love for the plants, love for the planet, love for the people, and love for the communities we belong to. We spread our products, so there's plenty of space to walk around and look at our products, look at the plants. When we do indoor plant sales, we have all relevant COVID measures in place, so it is always going to be a very safe thing to do. Why not invite us to your place of choice? Maybe your church could do with some plant excitement, with a lovely plant sale right at your place. And the best thing is, we bring the products, we come with our mobile garden center, we bring everything we need, we organize it. Your community and your congregation is going to benefit from it. And your church will be presented with a check at the end of every sale. How does that sound? Or how about your workplace? We did many plant sales in the corporate sector, and either in the office, indoors, or with our mobile garden center. You choose, we come, it is completely risk-free for you. Or one of the many wonderful village shops where we can show up with our mobile garden center during your opening hours. A percentage of the sale is going towards your shop or your chosen community initiative. Please get in touch with Paul, Sue, or myself to make your preferred arrangements. We are much looking forward to that.
Hello, we're here in my garden, and I'd just ask you to excuse any dog noises that you may hear in the background, because I'm surrounded by dogs here and they're wonderful. Anyway, it's a delight for me to bring you this first ever in our series around the world in 80 plants, and to take you to the foot of Table Mountain in my beloved South Africa. Or actually, we could drop onto the Highveld in central South Africa rather than Cape Town, which is twice the height of Table Mountain and actually twice the height of our very own Mount Snowdon. All across South Africa, you'll find wonderful examples of my all-time favourite plant genus, the Agapanthus. There are roughly 6 species and literally hundreds of fascinating cultivars, with new hybrids being added every year. Now, there are many people in Britain who are unnecessarily nervous about investing in exotic plants for their windswept, frost-prone gardens here in the UK, but the good news about Agapanthus is that many varieties were originally discovered growing strongly in cold, inhospitable locations in South Africa, in the mountains, or in places where they get snow and frost just like we do. And they will thrive in all parts of Britain. All Agapanthus species and cultivars available anywhere in the world trace their origins back to South Africa, and these wonderful flowers really are South Africa's greatest love gift to the world. In fact, the name Agapanthus means flower of love, bringing together 2 ancient Greek words, agape, meaning love, that's the sort of love that flows down from God to humankind, and anthus, meaning flower. So Agapanthus is the flower of love. And not only does the name mean love, but this is a plant that keeps on giving love to those who own it, year after year after year. Now, Agapanthus has graced British gardens since the mid-17th century, but in recent years there's been an explosion in its popularity, and I'm convinced that it's going to be a major component in beautiful gardens in this country for centuries to come, not least because, like true love itself, Agapanthus is so forgiving, particularly if you follow some of the simple steps and rules that are contained within a video of a talk that I gave at our July Agapanthus Festival in Chesham. You'll find the link for that on the bottom of the screen right now. Now there is more good news. Root and Branch already has the greatest selection of agapanthus of any nursery or garden centre in our area. And there are many new varieties going to be added over the next few months, and by next spring we know that we will have the biggest collection in Buckinghamshire. Plants whose hearts are just aching for the opportunity to shower you and your garden with love. And you can find details of those as we introduce them on our website. And better still, why not sign up to our newsletter, which you can do through the website, for advance notice when those plants are coming. So that's all about agapanthus, but why not come back next month for another excursion in our series around the world in 80 plants. Now, how often when we buy a product do we ask the question, why does the vendor of this product do what they do? And I guess in many cases it's not that relevant, but for us we believe that it is, because as I said at the top of the programme, the why for us is more important than the what. And actually, why do we do what we're doing? Well, one thing is that we actually love supporting local community projects around our hometown of Chesham. But the main importance and the main focus of our work is in South Africa, in a township called Munsieville, which many say is the birthplace of the concept of the Rainbow Nation. And it's a troubled place to this day, where children are growing up in grinding poverty with endemic abuse and all sorts of other disadvantages. And we love that community. And so everything we do is focused on trying to help them. I want to bring you an interview now which will help to unpack that concept a little bit. An interview with a wonderful lady called Betty, who I've known for many years, and we've worked together in that township in Munsieville, and we continue to do that. And she's going to help us to answer some of those questions about the hope for the children of Munsieville. You and I have known each other for 15 years, and for the last 13 years of that we've worked together ceaselessly for to improve the lives of children. Throughout that time, our constant focus, our goal has been to do what we can to transform the opportunities for children growing up in extreme poverty so that they have the best chance to emerge as healthy and productive adults. Now, over that whole time, what do you think have been the biggest achievements?
Our main objective is children from 0 to 18 years. And we wanted to see orphans and other vulnerable children, their lives being changed. And not only done by us as an organization, but we managed to pull the whole community behind us to work with us to bring this change in our communities. I remember we had to have a lot of meetings with the community leaders, with the community itself. And we also had to, conduct a lot of trainings with our people, because there's been organizations coming in our community, and then they will be in the community for a year or 2 years or 3 years, and then they are gone. And then there's no change that happened in the community. But as the thoughtful path, we made that promise to the community and said to them, we're going to be with them for the next 10 years. And we also made a promise to them that we are going to make mistakes. And then with those mistakes, we want them to work with us to make sure that we reach the goal which is we're going to make our children grow healthy and productive in our communities. We managed to show them that if something happens to a child, or if something happens to your neighbor, it's your responsibility to report this. And people now started to report child abuse, started to report domestic violence. Children themselves were brought on board. Remember when we started, we had the group called House of Young Ambassadors. So now with these children, we trained them that when you are at school, it's your responsibility to see to it that your fellow student, if they've got a problem, You need to talk to them, find out what is wrong, report to the teachers, come and report to organization or report to the parents. And our children themselves, they started now to do that. And then they started to bring their colleagues to the center to start now talking to us. And then we managed to bring the stakeholders so that they can be able to counsel the children. And then also we showed the kids that they have to talk, because of the perpetrators, they always use this famous sentence that you don't talk. If you talk, I will kill you, I will kill your family. And then the kids now started to talk, and then we managed to see the numbers of child neglect starting now to decrease.
Mm.
And then
I remember, Betty, with you, I mean, this was something that was like a groundswell from the community, because child abuse and domestic abuse have been a secret. It went on throughout the township, endemic, but nobody talked about it. And then because of children and because of their energy, I mean, the whole culture around that changed, and now people want to report. I can remember with you and with children from the House of Young Ambassadors and other people marching down the streets with placards saying zero
Yes.
tolerance, zero tolerance towards child abuse and domestic abuse. And it did, little by little, it changed the culture.
It did a lot. It did a lot because of even a parent that was not interested. When they started to see children doing that, they asked themselves questions. Why don't I? And then they started joining their children. And then they started to talk to their kids. And they started to make sure that as a parent, I must know where my child is. Is my child safe? Who is with my child? So that also helped us a lot. And then it's so good to see when the kids talks, Paul, there's power there. Yeah. There's power there because of these are future leaders.
Important to plant seeds into the lives of young people. And now we're seeing, as the years go by, we're seeing those seeds beginning to germinate and real change coming in the lives of children. But Betty, one thing that I wanted to say to you is, look, we saw a lot of progress over the first 10, 11 years. And that was great on a number of different fronts, not just in child abuse, but also in nutrition and early childhood education and so many other things. But the last 17 or 18 months have been disastrous for people all over the world. And in South Africa, you've had a particularly virulent type of COVID. We call it the South Africa or the Alpha variant, which is has just swept through South Africa. You've had little access to vaccines. And then in Monsieville, just a few months ago, there were floods that swept away the homes and the livelihoods and the few possessions that people had there in the township. And then just recently, riots on the streets and looting as shopping centres are burned down and people go in and just steal the things that are in the shops, following the jailing of former President Jacob Zuma. Now, do you remember in early 2010, when we first started our sort of formal work there, we spoke with hundreds of people in Monsieville about their perceptions about their own homes and their own township. And we kept on hearing the same thing. Firstly, two things. Firstly, nothing good ever happens in Monsieville. Secondly, nobody from the outside is remotely interested in us. We're just stuck in this undeveloped little place and nobody is going to help us. And, those are paralyzing perceptions for the people. But here we are, a decade on, following a decade of progress, and then this terrible time of COVID. Where is hope for children now in that township?
Where is the hope for the young people in Mansonville? That's a very big question. That's $1 million question. People, they've lost hope in the government because the government cannot do things on their own. The government has got so many things that they're supposed to do and they can't reach that. And then people, mothers, fathers, young people, they've got hope in us to say, as an organization, when we talk, you listen to us. When we cry, you listen to us. When there are things like what happened this year in January and February, where we had floods in our community, who came forward to come and help those people? Is this organization, as the Thoughtful Path, as young as we are as an organization, we don't have all the resources in life, but we managed to come forward and help the community and give them everything that they needed: blankets, food, clothes. And then those who wanted to go to hospital or to see the doctors, we are there to communicate with the health center and say, guys, please assist these people. People lost their documents, very important documents like identification, birth certificate. We managed to take those people to Home Affairs, call Home Affairs to come to the community and say, here we are. What is it that we can assist you? People, their hope is on us, Paul. And I don't know how are we gonna be able to do that, because we are a very small team. But we believe that with our friends out there who are hearing our plea, who are hearing our cry, will be able to come on board, assist us to reach the little bit that we can be able to do for the people. Because of our main aim, we want people to also come on board and do things for themselves. Hence, we have people that we are working with to do the food gardens, we trained mothers to have food gardens in their homes. We are also talking to the fathers to have food gardens and help their wives to bring food in their homes, because of the most problems that we have in our community at the moment right now. It's poverty, because of people are not working. And now with these riots that happened 2 weeks ago, you will say it didn't happen in Mansonville. It happened in Johannesburg. It happened in KwaZulu-Natal. But automatically, it affects us. It also affected us, because of today now, we start seeing a lot of people coming forward to say, we are hungry, we don't have food. And then I asked myself, how, why? And then I got my answer that some of the parents who were working in Johannesburg, their jobs now are closed because of the shops were looted. Those parents now are at home. They don't have a job. So hence they are saying, we need help. We want to be assisted. So people's hope lies on us.
Yeah, Betty, now that scares me a little bit, because I know how fragile we are. We've made lots of mistakes over the years. Yeah, we have tried to listen to people, but to hear that their hope is in us, that's encouraging on one level, because they trust us, because we've been there for a number of years. But I think it begs the question, where is our hope? And I have to say that I think for all of us within this organization, our hope is in God, and without God's help, we are absolutely finished. And it's good to know there are lots of people, lots of our Root and Branch friends and supporters of churches and so on, that are praying very much for Muncieville, for a breakthrough there. And we need to continue working for the churches. It's a frustration to people like Annette and myself that we can't be down with you right now, because we can't get into the country, and if we could get in, we couldn't get back again. But we will be there as soon as we possibly can. That's physically, but we are there in spirit, and so are so many people praying for you, and there will be a great breakthrough in Muncieville. Betty, it's been wonderful talking with you, and we'll see you very, very soon. But keep up the good work, keep moving forward, and hope is the watchword.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
God bless you. And now, as we draw to a close, we want to leave you with something to think about.
It's topical because it comes from Japan, where our athletes are busy seeking gold at the Olympic Games.
And it's also highly relevant to the children of Muncieville, whose lives and community have been broken into 1,000 pieces.
And it's relevant to all of us because we all live fragile lives on a fragile planet.
We're talking about the incredible art form developed and practiced in Japan since the 15th century and now sweeping the globe. It's called kintsugi. And kintsugi is the art of taking broken pieces of fine pottery and bonding them together with gold to produce a vessel that is totally unique and even more beautiful than the original unbroken article. Rather than hiding the breaks or disguising them, they are highlighted by the artist's skill to make an object of amazing beauty.
At Root and Branch, we believe that is exactly what God offers to us. Through his Son Jesus, to take the broken pieces of our lives and craft them together into something stronger and more beautiful than ever.
In the Bible, it says in Isaiah chapter 61 verse 3, to all who mourn, he will give a crown of beauty for ashes, a joyous blessing instead of mourning, festive praise instead of despair.
Just because something is broken today, it doesn't have to stay that way.
Song to rise to you when temptation comes my way, and when I cannot stand, I fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you.